Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I'm Steven, and tonight, whenever the heck you're watching this, we are getting into another head-to-head. We are putting up against Maker's 46 Cash Strength. We're putting this bad mamma jamma up against the original Maker's 46 Cash Strength to figure out, did this change? Because guess what? I think it's changed. I think it's a new flavor profile. Even though it's the same profile, seems like a new flavor profile to me. So that's what we're getting into. But before we get into that, please do me that favor. Like, comment, and subscribe. That helps us out a ton, and we seriously appreciate the support. But let's get into today's video. So, like I said, Maker's 46 Cash Strength has changed to me. I haven't done a real side-by-side. I have both the original and the new one because I wanted to see if this one changed, and I found this one for a super good deal. So we're putting that up against this. They're both Maker's Mark products, wheated bourbon. They're both 10 virgin French oak stave finished, Maker's Mark basically. And this particular one, the new one, is 110.1 proof. And also, they are starting to batch these bad boys. So this is, for anyone who cares, batch 23-02. And this one is before they batched it, so I can't tell you which one it is. But it is 110.2 proof. So we have literally 0.1 proof points different, which is so minuscule. Let's get into it. And starting off with, we're going to pour, you know the rules. You know how I run these things. We got Glencairn B, Glencairn A. I'm putting the old school Maker's Mark, the original, the one that made me fall in love with the Maker's 46 profile, because guess what? I kind of hated Maker's Mark before I found their single barrels and the stay finishing for like flavor profiles. I used to not really care for them, but these made me fall in love with them, and it's all thanks to this bottle right here. So I'm putting that in A because it came first. It was the original, if you will. And then we're going to put the new one into B. And by the way, I just want the record to reflect, even though I do think this bottle, the branding, is not half as cool as this bottle. So I think it is, branding-wise, a little bit of a downgrade. I do actually really like the Cash Strength 46 label on this. Like the maroon, the gold inlay, like it's a pretty one. Like I wish it wasn't a screw top. Let's spin them, twirl them, whirl them, floral them. No, that's not a real term. That's not something you do to spin things and twirl things and whirl things. And I need to come up with a new word for spinning things if I start doing these more often. Twirl, whirl, squirrel, squirrel. All right, I think at this point, these are about as mixed up as I'm ever gonna get. I got two Glencairns in front of me. Left is gonna be Glencairn number 1. For my orientation, it should be right on your guys' orientation, or wait, left or right? I don't know, something. My left, your right, yeah. On my left, your right, Glencairn number 1. My right, your left is Glencairn number 2, so let's get right into it. Glencairn number 1. I mean, they're on the table. You can't even see them. Like, what am I doing here? What am I doing? Let's get into it. Let's get into it. On the nose, Glencairn number 1. Ooh-wee. Man, I love Maker's Mark French Oak finished. I have a few of like the single barrel picks and like the stave finishings, and I have a few of like the license plate series, like the BEPs, the FAEOs, whatever the hell. I love all of them. There's something about the oak that they do that is so incredibly good, but the 46, that French oak, it adds a whole dimension to the Maker's Mark flavor profile. I love that spice. This is peppery, spicy, a little tannicky, a little like, we'll call it youthy wood. Like it's like a bright, sharp wood. Peppery, still has this like sweet strawberry thing on there as well. Oh, man. A tinge of ethanol on this one, but I love the spice. This one is bringing out so much robust spice. Like it is like black pepper and clove to me. it's not quite there, but it has this like red winey type thing. I don't know if that is the fact that I just recently did a wine tasting and I had a red wine that was also aged in French oak, but I have this kind of like, it's like grapey wine thing going on too. That's a new note for this bottle for me as well. Both of these bottles, either which one. I've never come up with like a grapey wine type thing. It's like an earthy red wine influence. Glass 2 is so much more like vanilla custardy. Like this is strawberry shortcake as heck. It does have a bit of that like peppery clove spice. Like you can definitely tell that these are cut. You know, I use this terminology for the Elijah Craig toasted, like head-to-head I did. They're cut from the same cloth. These are definitely the same thing. These are just like different approaches to the same types of flavors. This one smells almost more toasty. It has this like vanilla caramel, like almost marshmallowy influence compared to glass number 1. Man, this is incredibly sweet. I think I'm leaning glass 1 on the nose. Like I really, really enjoy that spice. Like that spice is, man, that's freaking good. I like me a spicy whiskey. Let's get into the palate though. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. That is caramels, vanillas, nice spice. It's starting to move a little bit more cinnamony to me. It's like cinnamon and pepper instead of clove. Man, that is really, really enjoyable. I might have been wrong. No, there's definitely a difference. So glass 1 is a little bit heavier on the spice, while glass 2 is a little bit heavier on the, we'll call it caramels, vanillas, butterscotch toastiness thing. Glass 2 is a smidge thicker. Yeah, that viscosity is, it's a little bit more than a smidge thicker. That is like drinking freaking syrup compared to this. Yeah, that is like drinking freaking syrup. I don't know which one I prefer. Like this is a really difficult head-to-head because they're so similar. On the nose, the noses are a little bit more different. The noses, one's clearly more like toasty vanilla, one's clearly spicier. And on the palate, what's different on the nose kind of translates as well to the palate. That being said, not as intensely. The palate-wise, they're very, very similar. Like glass 2, thicker, a little bit more viscous. Glass 1, spicier. A little bit thinner. Glass 2, a little bit more of that vanilla custardy thing. I think nose-wise, you see, this is kind of hard. Like I don't want to give them a tie. A tie seems like a cop-out. But nose-wise, I like glass 1 better. And then palate-wise, I like glass 2 better. Because I can't get over that thickness. This is, I think, the first head-to-head I've had where I'm like, hey, same, but different, but still same. Like, honestly, I would say these are both on par. Me, personally, I am leaning glass 2. I like the thickness. I like the viscosity that I get off of that compared to glass number 1. So let's find out. Glass number 2A. Yep. So glass number 2, the winner is the old one. That being said, what I can say, the new one, this bad boy, still really good. And also this is a specific batch of it. So maybe batch to batch, we're going to see some variance. Maybe we'll start seeing some batches that are a bit more like this and less like this. To me, this one is spicier and a little bit less thick and viscous. Well, this is like syrupy thick and more sweet, but not as spicy. Like, honestly, me personally, I kind of want like a 50-50 blend. Like, I wish this had the spice of that one. And that would be the perfect freaking whiskey. That would literally be the perfect whiskey. Because this one, going from the new one to the old one, I'm like, dude, this is not half as spicy as I remember this bottle should be. Like, this bottle, I remember being far spicier than it is, but like honestly it's just creamy, viscous, and sweet. I like both of them. These new bottles, even though the old one won, this new bottle definitely worth the buy, especially if you can get it for like $55 like I did, which was such a freaking steal. I do truly enjoy it. I mean, obviously I've had quite a few pours out of it already, and I just got it like a week ago. So I really enjoy this bottle. I think this is definitely a buy. That being said, it has changed. Not in the margins that I thought it did. I thought it drastically changed, where it's more of like a minute, finite details, like it changed batch to batch, but like no more than you would see on like a different larceny batch or a different ECBP batch. So I think this kind of confirms my suspicion of, I think these makers Mark 46s and whatnot are going to start following the ideas or the plans of like those kinds of things where they release a few batches a year and they're all going to be different. And us whiskey YouTubers, or you freaking nerds out there that really like to compare bottles against each other, because I know I'm likely going to do it, are going to start buying the batches. I mean, I got a boatload of ECBPs. Maker's Mark just added Maker's Mark 46 to that list, which, I mean, kind of freaking smart. From a business standpoint, I would do the same thing. But that being said, that is a wrap for today's video. Please do me that favor, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below what you thought about this video. Also, check out the Facebook, Instagram, and the Patreon. Links for everything are down there below. That is a wrap again. Cheers, y'all. We'll see you later.